childhood, Joni's with the Midwest and Pioneer Model Railroad Club. These are great. They have one of the longest trains, I think, in the whole Midwest.
That's impressive. Still to come, we'll pick another winner in our Carmen Electra contest. Your chance to meet the WB's newest starlet.
She would do anything to keep that dream.
Who would have thought? Up next, Joni's hanging out with a model train club.
You know this scene. You're sitting in traffic, you're waiting for a train to cross, and it's a mighty long train. Only you want to take a second look at this train because it's a model train. And we're going to look at them close up, coming up.
And coming up next, we are shaping up our outer thighs.
Good morning. So you think you like trains, huh? Well, we have found some folks who really love trains. Check that out. We're in a gigantic room that's just loaded with a lot of trains, a lot of scenery. It is the Midwestern Pioneer Model Railroad Club. And we have Rick Ragone with us this morning, the president of the club. Good morning.
Good morning.
So how did you guys get together?
Well, we formed about 4.5 years ago now, and just a bunch of guys that were interested in N-scale trains, and
Pull in your resources.
Pooled our resources, pooled our money, and decided that we wanted to construct a large layout.
And look what you've got. This, can you describe this scene for me?
Well, what we've got going on in here, and it's all under construction, is a Midwestern farm scene. It encompasses a crop farm, a dairy farm. We've got a farm that's yet to be planted yet going in along here. We decided we want a lake and a river, so we've thrown that detail in as well. We've got a little river that flows between two lakes, and we're developing a little subdivision which will tie our farm scene into our town scene eventually.
You have scenes from different areas of the country that are supposed to be accurate along with the rail lines, but I noticed that the Midwest part is done first. Is there a reason for that?
It's just an area that we decided that we could work around with our track laying and electric planning. It was the easiest area to start constructing, and it's an area that's really taken shape over the past year and a half.
Well, let's not forget about the trains. You got some long trains, the kind that we're used to, like, sitting in traffic waiting for.
Well,
and how do you develop those?
That's what we're targeting. We're targeting a prototypical run. Due to some size limitations, we've limited our trains to 50 cars, which is about half the prototypical size. We are a club that's involved with everybody bringing down their own trains, their own stuff. So if you've got a particular road that you're interested in, that's what you bring down and you're running.
What is it about the train hobby? Is it something that's lifelong, that starts when you're little, or anytime?
Generally what we've found is a lot of people pick it up when they're young, get involved with it as young kids, kind of lose it as they grow up through their teen years as other things take their interests away. And then rediscover it around age 30 or age 40 as they have to start cleaning out kids' basements.
But then you end up sharing it with each other, huh?
Yeah, we share our interests together, and we share our aspects of the modeling hobby amongst each other.
Well, Rick Ragone, thank you for sharing it with us. Let's tell you more about this railroad club. Here's the phone number if you'd like to get more information, 708-865-2888, 708-865-2888. This room stretches 90 feet, and it's full of trains. In the 8 o'clock hour, we'll show you another scene. Now back to you.
Great, thank you, Joni. And when we come right back, a look back at some of the memorable moments of the past week.
Good morning, Chicago. I'm Larry Potash. Back in the headlines, potholes on the Ryan and political pitfalls in the Beltway. We'll have live reports.
Good morning, Chicago. I'm Paul Conrad. Winter returns to Chicago. I'll tell you when we'll see that coming up in weather.
Good morning, Chicago. Robin Baumgarten. Lots of fog in the outlying areas, lots of potholes on the roadway, but travel times not that bad. Details in traffic.
Good morning, Chicago. I'm Mike Bars. It's moving day for some Bulls players as training camp gets ready to start and the signing of free agents. We'll have the latest coming up in sports.
Good morning, Chicago. I'm Joni Lum around town. Doesn't that water look realistic? We're checking out model trains and the beautiful farmland that surrounds them. Coming up.
Good morning, Chicago. I'm Roseanne Tejas. If your legs need more love, our fitness
For sports.
Boy, that looks so nice. So sunny.
You know what?
Green,
Can you imagine being in your
warm.
mid-30s? I mean, having millions of dollars put away.
Right.
I mean, you can do whatever the heck you want to do.
And you know what I'm thinking as I'm sitting there seeing Michael Jordan lean against a tree? He didn't even pay for that outfit. People are giving him stuff.
Right. I mean, he's not even spending anything. He goes
Right.
into a restaurant. I'm sure he doesn't have to pay for a meal.
Right. Gosh, there's no justice.
I wish I had ups.
We'll be back with some tips for trimming those thighs.
But first, let's check in with Joni around town hanging out with some models.
And good morning. Isn't that a beautiful model train? Made only more beautiful by the scenery around it. They're still working on this one. This is a power plant. And look, I've got a whole forest in my hand. We're going to show you much more coming up.
Second place was when Paul threw the snowballs at Robin.
I don't think that, you know, it was too late. It didn't make the survey, but maybe next year.
Next year, we're going to be #1. Let's check in with Joni, who is around town playing with model trains.
Good morning. We are checking out N-scale model trains. Now, I know a lot of people love trains, but maybe not as much as these guys. We have Chuck Polasek with us, who is the vice president of the Midwest N Pioneer Model Railroad Club. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you are kind of proud of this eastern end of the room, aren't you?
Yes, although it's western scenery, it's the eastern end of the room.
Describe it to me.
This is the Tehachapi Loop. It's a famous area in California near Barstow, and all railroad fans pretty much are familiar with it. We're constructing it. It's got a lot of work left to be done.
So this is an actual place
This is an
in
actual
Barstow?
place near Barstow, California.
So when
and-
you made it, what did you want specifically to be accurate and right?
We tried as much as possible to get the feel of it, the track area to look the way the real track does. And if you close in and take a good look with the scenery in, hopefully you won't be able to tell that it's not the real thing.
Yeah, it's pretty close to that photograph, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Now, I'm up on my toes, and the camera's way up on a ladder. There's a reason for all this being high, isn't there?
We built it high because we wanted to be able to look at it the way you would look at the real railroad. Not as though you're flying over it in a helicopter, but as though you're standing on the ground looking at the trains at the same level that you are.
So it's as realistic as it can
It's
be.
as realistic as we can make it.
You said there's more work to be done here? Maybe more trees?
We have to put the trees in. There are houses and buildings yet to be done.
It's beautiful. Let's check out another area of the train track.
Great.
Boy, with all the lights and everything, that sure is realistic. Rick Ragone, the president of this railroad club. This is the train yard area?
Yeah, it's a classification yard. It's a common feature on older railroads. They used it to switch cars in and out in the olden days. Now they use hump yards, which is a big, large hill that they roll cars over.
And you try to get this as accurate as possible, too?
Again, yes. We're shooting for, we have one classification yard for each direction of the main line track in which we're running. Each one of the yards has about 7 tracks in it, and we expect at one point in time to hold about 1,000 cars in these yards.
Now, what do you like better, watching the trains or fiddling with the trains?
I personally like running the trains the best, but it's a lot of fun to come down here and see what other guys have done with the cars and engines and detailing and that type stuff as well.
And y'all have different specialties? Or do you are there requirements to being in this club?
No, there aren't any. We accept all levels of modeling, from the novice to the most experienced person. One of the things we like to say is that if you're an electrician, for example, for 40 hours or 50 hours a week, that you don't necessarily come down here and work solely on electrical work. We try and get you interested or involved in other areas of the modeling.
All right. Rick Ragone, thank you for sharing this with us. Let's tell you more about the Midwest N for N-Scale Pioneer Model Railroad Club. Here's the phone number for more information, 708-865-2888, 708-865-2888. As they said, they have an open membership, and all you got to do is love trains. Now back to you.
Thank you, Joni. Up next, actor Kevin Dobson talks about his new role on stage right here in Chicago. And a little later on, Sam Rubin has some